Namaskar to all the educators and parents who are watching this video. I had to make this video. I had to make this video because there are so many wrong, incorrect practices that happen in pre-primary or preschool that we love to call, or KG that we love to call in this country. Big high-end schools, international schools, to municipal schools, government schools, all of them are making this mistake. All of them. That means they are all on an equal level. What are these mistakes? We know that the NEP 2020 talks about foundational literacy and numeracy. Literacy has been given emphasis in NEP 2020. So it's important that we correct our mistakes. We correct the kind of errors that we have in our schools. And this video is to help you do that. So when we talk about literacy, remember listening, speaking, reading, writing, which means children learn to listen first, children learn to speak then. Once children have learned to speak, then reading and writing can be introduced. And when we talk about introducing reading, it means either you do it with phonics or whole language or whatever it is. When you are introducing children to the alphabet, please remember it's alphabet, not alphabets. Each letter is not called an alphabet. Each letter is called a letter, and 26 letters together make the alphabet. When you are showing or displaying the alphabet in your school, display both capital and small letter together. When you are introducing a letter to the children in your classrooms, always show them the capital and the small letter together and say, this is letter A, this is capital A, this is small a, and they make the sound A. Very important that you show both together, because otherwise it confuses children if you show only the capital letter and then later on after many years you show them the small letter and they feel, this, the big A, as you love to call, don't call it big A, say capital, because that's the word they're going to use in later classes also. And they'll think, oh my God, the capital A was saying A, now ye bhi A bol raha hai. They don't realize that they both stand for the same letter. So always show it together. That's point number one. Point number two is, many schools are starting with capital letters. They show words like CAT, all capital, BAT, all capital. My friends, pick up any book. Pick up any book which is written in English. Pick up any book published in English for children, for adults. Pick up. Come on, pick up. And you will see that they all have small letters. The first letter of the sentence only is capital, which means 95% of the page is in small letters. You cannot teach me to read with all capital letters. That's bad for my brain. You are teaching me something which is incorrect. Please start with the introduction of small letters first. Why small letters first? Small letters first because children also have to learn to write what they read. Remember? LSRW. So if I'm going to be introducing children to read in capital letters, I will then start making them write in capital letters. Again, let's go to the English language and how it is written. You don't write in all capital. So once you will teach me to write in all capital, I will, first of all, not be able to read from books, because in the book, it is not in all capitals. So I cannot recognize that this capital B and this small b are the same. You're confusing me. No wonder children in our country are weak when it comes to reading skills in English. Small letters in reading, small letters in writing. Now many schools feel small letters are very difficult. Capital letters are easier. They are standing line, sleeping line, slanting line. My friends, I want you to give a piece of paper and a crayon to your child, or a pencil to your child right now, and ask them to draw. Just ask them to draw. And you will notice that they do doodling. And all the doodles are more of curls and curves. They never draw straight lines, even when they are drawing. So children are very comfortable with curls and curves, which is part of your print letters. So it is, don't worry about that children won't be able to write small letters. No, we have to remember that children learn reading and writing simultaneously. So you cannot teach them something contrary in reading and something contrary in writing. Capital letters to start with are a no. So many times schools make children write in capital letters. They write their name in capital letters. Through the entire pre-primary, the child writes its name in capital letters, then goes to standard 1, grade 1, and the teacher says, no, this is wrong. First letter should be capital, all the rest should be small. Now you're making me unlearn something that you only made me learn. So please remember, small letters first. Don't make children read in capital. Don't make children write in all capital. Very important. Now the next point, most important point. Very importantly, should my children learn to write in cursive? Yes, they can. Maybe later on in the primary years. In pre-primary, you cannot make children start writing in cursive. First comes print. Why? Because I'm reading in print. See, common sense, no? I read in print, I will write in print. I first need to recognize that letter, how it looks in print, because that's going to help me in reading also. Once I have understood how to write the letter in print, I have to then, you can teach me the Marian-Richardson print. The Marian-Richardson print has a curve at the end of every letter. This is just so that that letter can join with the next corresponding letter. And your children can have joined handwriting. Once children have understood joined handwriting, later on in second and third standard, you can introduce them to cursive. But I would say cursive is not essential or necessary, because the children who are now with you in your classrooms, by the time they grow up, they would have moved on to typing. Joined letters, Marian-Richardson is equally nice to strengthen their speed in writing and to make them write clearly. Marian-Richardson is enough. You still want to do cursive? Do it, but do it in primary after children have learned the print writing, the joined handwriting, and then comes cursive. It's as simple as you want to make a baby run, right? The baby will crawl first, the baby will walk, and then the baby will run. So look at it right there. Your print is your crawling, your joined handwriting is your walking, and your cursive is your running. So if we have the common sense of educators, we would definitely look into these practices. And the last and the most important and the most controversial and contentious point, red and blue line. Why do we need red and blue line? Who invented the red and blue lines? I want to catch that person, because I want you to see the example on the screen now. If I'm writing capital G, on a red and blue line, I use the top 3 line. Now, if I'm writing a small g, I use the bottom 3 line. Now, from the red and blue lines, you will make me transit to a single line book. Now, the single line book only has a top line and a bottom line. So, as a child, my question is, red and blue line were 4 lines. This is 2 lines. Which 2 lines disappeared? Which 2 lines disappeared? So, to write a capital G, I needed 3 lines. This is only 2 lines. To write a small g, I needed 3 lines. This is only 2 lines. So then they write a G which is hanging in the middle of the line. Instead of that, use 3 lines. Now look at this. Look at the line size of a single line and a three line. The child learns to write that all small letters start from below the dotted line and the hanging letters go till the next dotted line. And once the children have learned how to write, the dotted line disappears, the line remains the same. This is a more scientific approach. This is a much better approach. It leads to less stress in children. So please remember, do not make children read in capital letters. Do not make children write in capital letters. Do not do cursive handwriting in pre-primary, and avoid using the red and blue lines, please. I have given you points today that are well researched and that help the growing brain of children. Remember, NEP 2020 says 85% of the cumulative brain development happens in the first 6 years, and it is our task as educators and parents to ensure that we don't give toxic stress to children. And these kind of confusing things, please read Piaget's cognitive development theory. He says that children cannot understand two differing concepts together at this age. So I cannot write in capital and read in small print. So if you understand child development, you will not make these three mistakes. And I'm going to point a finger to the publishers out there, all those who publish books for the pre-primary, because it is you who is getting these mistakes into schools, because schools, most of them don't publish their own books, they buy from the market. And big publishers are making this mistake. And whenever I have asked the publishers, why are you making this mistake? They say because schools are asking us to do it. When I ask schools, why are you making this mistake? They say because publishers are asking us to do this. So friends, as a parent, as an educator, and as a publisher, it is your duty to ensure that children in our country are taught developmentally appropriate literacy. Let's support the NEP 2020, let's support Nipun, and let's support FLN, which is Foundational Literacy and Numeracy, with the right practices. I'm watching you.